Hi everyone, my name is Kendrick and welcome to ENFP Mail. Today I get to interview Emily. So Emily, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
For sure. So how long ago did you get officially type and what is your officially type?
Um, I just got my type back at the end of June, and Dave and Shin typed me as double masculine Ne-Ti, and the animals were consume, play, blast, sleep, last.
And then how did you feel and what did you think of the result?
Um, I I was a little bit, I was partially surprised, mostly by the animals, because they say sleep last. People are always surprised when they find out they're sleep last.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was surprised by that. And I had typed myself as an IJ, but I wasn't really that surprised at the EP because I definitely have the recurring like don't control me bro problems. So that wasn't too surprising.
Well, since you already mentioned it, why don't we start with that don't control me bro syndrome.
Sure.
So how does it come out? Like when does it come out when the don't control me bro EP?
When doesn't it is the real question.
When it doesn't. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, like, it's been, if we're talking about the biggest fear, it's been the biggest recurring problem of my life. Even back to being a small child and my mom trying to dress me, I was like, no, you can't tell me anything what to do.
Is it even worse for you because you're double masculine?
Probably, yeah. I have both of my demons are masculine, so when I get upset, that's the demon masculine energy.
Well, since we're talking about your double masculine demon energy, let's talk about your double masculine blast then. What is that like?
Um, I mean, what you would imagine. It's very blasty.
Yeah, but it's SF though. It's SF. So what is double masculine SF blast? Like, what is it?
Good question. Well, when I was typing myself, of course, if I typed myself as an IJ, that would mix up the animals. So I was thinking blast as a savior, but I guess that could be confused with play in some ways. But double masculine SF blast, I guess, would be like me. Well, I do a lot of teaching and giving tips on my demon SI. Like, this is how you should probably organize, even though I'm not that good at it.
But it's also SF, so it has something to do with the behavior of people, right? So or like making people feel good or something. So what is like what is double masculine SF blast when it comes to like I'll give you an example. So someone that has blast SF, maybe not double masculine, would go to someone and be like, hey, do you want some are you cold? Do you want some tea? I don't know, something like that.
Um,
Like one of my friends, he's an INTP, right? And
mhm.
he has masculine FE, so he doesn't have blast. He has like blast last, but when he does use it, it's like, you're like, he's like, that looks weird. That looks weird that you're cold. Here, drink this tea. So it's like forcing me to drink like the tea that he made to make me.
Yeah, I don't I don't see that in myself, but I do tend to notice other people's needs and anticipate them.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if that's a learned thing necessarily, because that's something my mom always like tried to make me learn.
You are double decider though, so you're balanced with self and tribe, right? So you know when the tribe needs help or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so you're aware of it. You have FE, but it's masculine. What is masculine FE like for you?
uh, Usually I beat people with it.
But how do you beat people with it? Like what's it look like?
Well, because I have FE, I can notice the vibes and notice the things that people need and that they're doing. But I also, since it's a demon, I don't really care. So um, I get like resentful of that fact, and then I like lash out at people.
Do you also enforce like tribe values to the people around you?
No, because I don't want to be controlled. That supersedes my desire to control other people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. Your masculine SI. How do you use your masculine SI?
Um, I I think I tend to be decently organized. Like, I make a lot of lists. That's one thing, and usually, I'm using my NE to see everything that needs to go on the list, and then I just cram it into a list, and then who knows if I'll follow through on the list.
Yeah, your room looks pretty clean, like in the background.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get, and that's the other thing. Like, if I stay on top of it on a regular basis, then I can manage it. But if it spirals, like, sometimes I'll just let it go for like a month and then just clean in one mass like session.
got it. You have feminine TI. What is feminine TI like?
Um, well, both my NE and TI are feminine, so I think it makes me like really open. Even though my TI is very much like what I think in the trail I've sort of gone down in my own reasons. Because it's feminine, I don't get super mad. Well, that's when my demon blast comes out. If someone's challenging me, usually I'm pretty open to seeing different perspectives or different reasons or ways to think about it. But if I get if it really hits to the heart of the TI, then my demon blast will come out and like attack you.
So because your TI is feminine, your identity is more fluid then, I guess. So if someone were to say, "Hey, I noticed this about you," you're more like likely to like, think about it. You're not gonna argue with them. You're like, "Oh, okay, let me think about that." It's not like you're gonna be like, "Nope, this is who I am," and
Yeah, usually if somebody points something out about me, I'll probably be like, yeah, valid.
okay. And then you have double feminine consume. So what is double feminine consume like for you? And it's NT, so it's double feminine NT consume.
Yeah, it's a lot of consuming a lot of nerdy stuff that I don't remember later.
Oh, I see, I see. Do you have an example of stuff that you completely forgot about?
Well, how can I? Because I forgot about it. No.
Yeah, true, that makes sense.
No, but I'll read books and things, and then I'll be like, I have concepts that I gathered, but where did I gather them? I don't know. I don't always remember exactly. Like, they kind of all run together, and then I have to go back and try to review to re-get them straight again. And even though I have sleep last, if I really want to retain concepts, I have to kind of sleep process it a whole bunch in order to like it's like a ropes of sand through my fingers.
What about your play? You have NF play. So how do you use that NF play of yours?
I know, I was surprised about that. And I guess that I'm still having trouble seeing it. Because I get really resentful about the concept of play. Like, I see myself as wanting to preserve energy. So when I do it, it's an unconscious thing. So it's hard to articulate it, I guess.
Like, are you curious about like, people's like life missions or their goals or that kind of stuff? Like when you talk to people, are you curious about that? Is that something that you would like to ping off the tribe?
Yeah, people do say I ask an annoying amount of questions of like, if I'm talking to someone, I don't want the small talk. I'll just start down like this series of questions until people are like, okay, that's enough.
So you go deep right into like that philosophical like.
Yeah,
right away.
like, why have you chosen this as your career? What's the underlying reason for your state of mind? And they're like, I'm just here for the chips.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird because like you have a FE, right? But then you kind of disrespect it and you go straight to like NF
Yeah.
NT kind of conversation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But then you're kind of like a walking contradiction because you're very sensory strong. So even though you're like doubling in on that N, that intuition, you have a lot of sensory, you know. So let's talk about the sensory stuff. Let's go with your sleep. You have a ST sleep. So what is ST sleep like for you? And it's last also.
Yeah. Well, again, because I didn't think I had sleep last, I do tend to spend what I consider a lot of time in sleep processing, and it's very much my thinking of my reasons for everything and how the SI is connected. I mean, I have been known to like physically write down all of my thought processes and stuff. Um, I have a degree in writing, so maybe that's part of my ST sleep.
Do you like to, do you like to go back to the past and then kind of like replay like things that happened to you and then kind of like see if there's any truths to any of those like moments that happened? So for example, I interviewed I think Heather just today, and she said that her ST sleep is like she goes back in the past, and if she has an interaction with someone and it might be like a bad interaction, um, she'll see if there's any truth to that bad interaction. So even if her feelings was hurt, it's like, oh, okay, if there's a truth to what that person said, it's kind of like, okay, you know, I don't know if that resonates with you or not.
Yeah, but usually, I mean, as far as like going back over stuff that happens, usually it's like better ways in which I could have dunked on someone.
Oh, it's better ways that you could like talk to them or what?
No, like, like coming out with quips or like uh razzing people or roasting people or whatever.
Oh, I see, I see. So you're thinking of better ways to roast them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Is that because you're double decider? So you kind of bounce with tries. So
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of
bro.
fun. It's fun to make
Yeah.
fun of the tribes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay. So it's a little bit different from the IPs where they're like using it as like a defense mechanism based on what the because you don't have people problems, right? So you're gonna use
Yeah.
your TI for something else.
Yeah, like how could I have owned someone harder and then how might they have owned me back?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see. Got it. So you're really playful with the tribe in that sense,
Yeah.
in a more aggressive way because you're double masculine.
Yeah, it's
Um,
gotten me in trouble a lot.
yeah. The fact that you're laughing about it, it's like, yeah. It's not a big deal, you know. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
I've had to do plenty of apology tours where like, I roast people a little too hard and then they like get their feelings hurt and then I'm like, "Oh, whoops. My bad."
is it like, do you have trouble apologizing as a double masculine, or is that something that you're kind of
No.
it's fine, it's no big deal?
Yeah, cuz usually I'm like, "Well, actually I was being kind of a jerk."
Yeah. So you see when it happens, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go fix this.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. I noticed that you said that you like to journal earlier. Is that because you're kinesthetic too? So like when you're processing, you like to like feel the touch of the pencil or the pen, like writing on the paper.
I don't know, maybe I don't actually write physically. Usually it's typing.
Oh, typing. Okay.
But I guess that could apply too. It's tactile in a way.
Do you like to exercise, or do you pick up exercise or sports pretty quickly?
No, I'm pretty like physically clumsy. That's my demon sensory. Like my car has scratches and dings all over it and like literally anytime you find me, I will have some kind of bruise or injury or like right now I have the other day I was just walking in the neighborhood texting and walking like a
Right.
doof. And I walked off the curb and turned my ankle and it's like just constantly that sort of stuff.
Are you the same type as Neil Tyson deGrasse?
Yeah.
Isn't he really good with like kinesthetic? Like I saw a video of him wrestling someone, so it's like,
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him necessarily be good at sports or anything. For me personally, it's not so much a skill as like an inclination to do it.
yeah,
Like I would wrestle my brothers as a kid, fight people, like do all of the sort of kinesthetic stuff in the sensory world, but that
yeah,
didn't necessarily mean I was good at it per se.
yeah. You kind of look like you have like the build for like an MMA fighter. Like if you I feel like if you trained, you could like be really like you could be
Maybe.
really imposing if you really trained, I think.
I mean, I am imposing. People do say that I'm decently tall for a girl. I'm like the high end of 5'9".
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and so, my consume doesn't help me either. So I'm generally a fairly big person.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, maybe you should try MMA. I think you would like kick people's ass. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I see you on like a TV, like a fight hero. It's like
Well, the problem was that as a kid, I had two older brothers, and so they were always like physically stronger than me, and
yeah,
so it just demoralized my sense of
yeah, but then
trying to do
you're
anything.
probably really strong because then you were fending them off, right? So
I don't know. Maybe I'll try it someday.
because I was wrestling, I used to wrestle with my youngest sister too when I was a kid, and like because me and my sister would wrestle so much when we were kids. Like when my sister went to high school, and like her guy friends would try to like tackle her, they can't move her,
Mm.
and they're like, "What the? I can't move her." And then my sister's like, and then she would beat guys at arm wrestling too, and she's double feminine too, my sister. So like, and then like she's like, "Oh, I guess it was like all those wrestling training that I had with my brother, like growing up. Like she became so super strong, like you know."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think because both the double masculine are both demons, like that outweighs the fact that they're masculine because yeah, I just like for example, my one PE class in college was floorball. And
yeah.
the entire semester I didn't make a single goal. Like I just sucked so bad.
I think what I learned about SI versus SE, even if it's a demon, is that like people with SE are better at like accuracy or aiming, but people with SI are better with like wrestling or like controlling the
Oh,
physical.
maybe.
Physical.
Yeah.
So, um, so I don't know like where that plays in, but like I don't think being a demon sensory would mean you're like terrible at sports or whatnot because like like Dave and Shan when they officially type what's his name a GSP for example George St. Pierre he's an INFJ and he's like one of the greatest MMA fighter of all time and he has like SE last right and then also there was another person the tennis player who was an INFJ also the Serbian guy what's his name I forgot his name but he's the number one tennis player in the world and he's an INFJ he's like a NITI so
Yeah.
so it's like I mean it was good for me to see that because it tells me it's like oh just because you're like a intuitive doesn't mean you're gonna suck at sports it means you could be good but I noticed that those people they took a different approach to sports too right like GSP for example he was really like smart and he could really figure things out and then the other fighters were just like kind of like dumb brutes right
Mhm.
so for him he's like okay this person is a grappler so I'm gonna fight him with striking because he's weak against that right or like um the other guy what's his name the tennis player guy he went all in with like nutrition right he's like oh okay I noticed that my weakness things problem right the reason why I didn't have any energy during tennis matches because I was eating the wrong food he was eating like bread and all that stuff so I think he went 100% gluten free or something and then now he became number one all of a sudden so so I don't know so I think as like being an intuitive that's kind of like where our advantage comes it's like
Yeah.
we think things through right and it's like oh okay like
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. You could use it as an advantage, but I don't know what to tell you. I suck at sports. That's just what it is.
all I'm saying to you is I think your sports ability is an untapped potential
Oh, okay.
that's all I'm saying and I
Someday I'll mind that.
yeah I'm just saying like I feel like if you tried it and you really took it seriously you would like kill it like no problem that's all I'm trying to say
Oh, well, thanks. But there's your problem is me taking anything really seriously.
right no I understand you're an EP and you're gonna have discipline issues and you're gonna get bored and you're gonna change topics so this is like a big what if obviously but
Yeah.
but hey who knows
Okay, I'll take it under advisement.
yeah you can what if anything you can dabble since you
Yeah.
like to dabble probably so let's talk about that then since we're on that topic already so talk about like you switching different like hobbies or
Yeah.
subjects all over the place
So when I started college, I started out as a religion major, and then I didn't like any of the religion professors, so I switched to biology, and then I was bored by biology, so I switched to English, and then I did finally finish English because, it's basically a survey of literature, so that's not that boring.
Yeah.
But then I was like, what am I going to do with an English degree? So I went and did a marketing internship. So then I started working in marketing, and then I worked for a hospital for a year and got really bored. So then I switched to, now I'm still doing marketing, but it's like the job that I have is basically I have to do all the different things like video and production and content creation and writing and fundraising. And so it keeps me pretty.
Do you enjoy that then, doing that instead?
I do still get bored.
It's hard, eh? It's hard.
Yeah.
I can relate. I can relate. Um,
How about you? Have you stuck with like, have you been doing something for a long time?
well, let me ask I this then. So I'm kind of like you. So when I was 18, I went to study accounting, and then I got bored after 2 years. And what did I switch to? I switched to just general studies, I think. And then after general studies, I switched to business management, and then I switched to marketing. And then I ended up getting a job in the mail room, entry level position in an office. I got my diploma. I didn't finish my degree. I dropped out of fourth year actually. I only needed 60 more courses, and I dropped out.
Oh no.
And then I became a personal trainer. So you can see I already jump a lot.
Yeah.
I've had all the different jobs too that you could think of. Like
Yeah.
I work in a restaurant delivering pizza, cutting vegetables in the kitchen. Uh, I've also done like I work in Starbucks making coffee, working Burger King. I work in an office selling health food products. Work in a mail room. I've done manual labor. I've done like all sorts of different stuff. So yeah, typical EP stuff. But like the personal training was actually the one that stuck. Like I ended up doing it for 7 years.
Oh.
But like I'm 7 years in, I'm bored to tears.
So what are you gonna do now?
Well, I'm doing the YouTube stuff. So I have a travel YouTube channel, and I have the ENFP Mail YouTube channel. So that's kind of like my side stuff that I'm doing on the side. And once I get to the point where like I'm earning money for both those channels to the point where I can sustain myself, then my fitness stuff, I'm not gonna drop it, but it'll just be my hobby job. Like I'll do it like because I get paid to teach fitness, right? So like for example, if I teach spin, I don't know if you've taken a spin class before, but it's like the bicycle class. So I get paid to work exercise. So for me, it's like it's good, like I can go there, teach a spin class, and I get paid to do it. I get paid to get my cardio in. So I'm like, okay, that's good. That's really useful, But I'm pretty proud that I stuck in fitness for so long, like 7 years, because recently I was so shocked at like what I got, like how far I got into the fitness industry. Like I'm now the person. I never thought I would get to this point. Even to this day, I don't believe it. I'm now the person that actually marks people's exams, and like if you want to be a personal trainer, I can do your practical exam for you and mark you. I never thought I would be that person, like the authority figure. Because as an EP, we're never the authority, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, what? I was like, I'm an authority in fitness. Like people go up to me and like I'll teach them fitness and then I'll mark their exam. I'm like, this is so weird for me. Like I haven't marked anyone's exam yet. I just finished it like not too long ago. But for me, it's like a weird feeling. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know what to do with this. It's like,
Yeah.
But it's part of growing up, I guess. Like eventually you have to grow up and you become like.
Do you though?
What's that?
I said, do you though?
I'm a kid.
Do you have to grow up?
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like a kid at heart. Like I still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do feel like a kid. Okay. Maybe you don't fully grow up, but you pretend you're more grown up.
You try to act like it.
Yeah.
Try to trick everyone into thinking you grew up.
Well, I'm not tricking anyone to think I'm growing up. I just need to be more professional at work so I don't get like, people don't.
Exactly. Trick them.
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's mostly so that people don't control me. Like if I was in like a position of authority, it's not because I want the power. It's more like for defense. Like.
Yeah. It's your disguise.
Yeah. If I have the authority position, then no one can control me. And then for my staff, I don't want to control my staff. So I just let them do whatever they want, right? So like like as long as yeah.
As long as you have competent staff, like that's the best scenario where you have people you can trust enough to just get it done.
I think my approach to this is like, as long as you produce good result, I don't care how you get to that point.
Yeah, same.
But if you don't produce good result, then you're out.
Yeah.
I'm a double decider, right? So, produce good result, you can do whatever you want. I don't really care. Just don't get me in trouble. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't produce good result, then you're in trouble. That's at least that's my point of view. I don't know what your thought
Yeah,
process.
I'm the same. Yeah. One of my struggles is when because my default is to be like, okay, we're starting out. Here's the thing. Do the thing however you want. Just get it done. And then if that doesn't happen, then I have a really hard time like trying to go in and make people do it better.
Well, I work at several community centers, like in the fitness industry. So I work at 3 different facilities, and my favorite boss of all the people that I work for has always been my ENFP boss. I think she's also an NET. And she just lets to do whatever I want. And she's also a double decider, which I really appreciate. She's like, she understands like where I'm coming from. And because I find out sometimes when I work for EJs, they expect me to kill themselves. They expect me to do they expect me to do what they're doing, which is killing themselves for a tribe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to do that shit, Screw that,
Yeah.
I
have a question.
Yeah.
Because one of the, I relate to that. And one of the things that I struggle with is like, I'm unwilling to put in more hours than I absolutely have to. So like as a salaried person, I'm only working my scheduled hours. Yeah. And that's it.
It's hard. I'm different from you. I'm an EPEJ, right? So like I'm NET. So I'm more likely to be swayed to put in more hours, but I won't do it unless I get paid. So I do fight my boss for more money. So I do go up to them and I tell them, can I get a raise? I'm pretty blunt about it too. I just go up to my boss.
Nice.
Like, can I get a raise?
Did it work?
Yes, it did.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I think people should be asking for raises because it's easier. It's actually not too hard to do. Like I'll go up to my boss, right? Can I get a raise? And then they'll just look at me, right? And they'll be like, well, I think you deserve it. Okay. And they're like,
nice.
But it's because I'm an EPEJ also, right? So I actually do like help them. So I do like they don't know that I'm causing chaos in the background. I'm causing so much chaos. They have no clue, right? But I always ask them what is like the result they want me to produce. And I produce a result for them, right? So what I figured out with like when it comes to like bosses is like as long as you're producing that specific result that they want, if you're causing chaos in the background and they don't know about it, it's fine.
Yeah.
I cause so much chaos in the background. I can't even say it. Like it's just,
Well, that's what you're there for, right? That's what we're for. Us chaos monkeys. We just create chaos.
Okay, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but so tell me. I'll give you an example for me, okay? So one of the things that happened to me, and I'm always laughing inside when it happens, is like the office people where I work would say, you know what, Kendrick is our go-to guy. He's reliable, and he's the guy that that we can trust to get the work done. And inside I'm thinking, if only they know what I've been doing in the background. like I'm really.
I relate to that, but here's the thing: like you have to keep your output level at about 65 or 70%, where you're still level with everyone else, so that you have plenty of room to do whatever it is, create whatever chaos or goof off to whatever extent you need to, because we have the efficiency and all of that sort of thing. But
why is Zoom telling me that I only have 10 minutes left? What the heck?
I don't know.
I thought Zoom's unlimited for one-on-one interviews. What the hell?
No, I think you have to subscribe.
No, because I did an interview a few days ago. It was like an hour and a half or something on Zoom, and it's fine. But now it's making like the one time I interviewed a fellow EP, it's trying to control both of us.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we have 9 minutes left before this shuts down.
Okay.
Okay, but like, I just think it's ironic that the one time this system is controlling us is
exactly.
I have like an EP that I'm interviewing.
Of course, it would happen this way. They're out to get us.
But anyways, back to what you were saying about like EP strategies. I don't know if you've seen this too, but like sometimes when your boss is in a pinch, and like if you help your boss with this, you get like massive points bonus. So like you can get away with a lot of bullshit later on as long as you help them with this like one thing.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that like I see where my boss is stuck at something, and if they don't, they're like absolutely screwed. They're like their backs against the wall, and that's when I become the hero. I swoop in and save the day, and then now I have like a lot of like chaos points that I can use later on. so I can get
Yeah.
away with bullshit. Have you ever done that? Like, have you ever seen that happen? And
Yeah, my problem though is I really struggled to let people know how much work things actually are.
yes,
So it looks like I'm just, fixing the thing just like that. But
yeah.
actually, it was a lot of work, and people just don't realize how much effort. Like, only when you compare it to some other rando trying to do it is the output, do you realize what the output is? So, all of that to say, yeah, I have saved a lot of people in a lot of pinches, but they didn't realize quite the magnitude to which they were saved.
So I think you need to blast in this situation then.
I know.
You're a blast demon, right? So I have blast savior, so I think I emphasize on it. Like
Yeah.
I won't say directly because I have feminine TE, but I'll be like, oh my god, we just like, oh my god, thank God we averted that problem. And they'll be like, oh yeah, thanks Kendrick. I'm like, haha.
Yeah, so you gotta teach me how to do that part so people
Well,
actually realize.
just do it that way. Just be like, oh man, look, that was really hard. Like what we went through, And they're like, oh yeah, thanks Emily. And you're like, like,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, like EP strategies. Um, so I'm gonna ask you a question then about so because we're running out of time. One of them is what advice can you give to EPs to better work, ENTP specifically, to better work on that like demon SI and prevent like people controlling you or things controlling you, so that you have the freedom to do the things that you want to do.
Um, I mean, one, you actually have to practice in the SI as much as it sucks and you hate it. You have to do it. And then the other thing is the way you can avoid people controlling you is to get better than the people around you so that you have like those leeways that you were just talking about. So that when you have to play your cards, people allow you to do what you want because they see your value. So like for me, if you have different animals, I don't know, but for me, they say I'm a skib, a super learner.
Yeah.
So I just play everything I need to know so that I can beat the other guy who I'm going up against. And that way nobody can control me because they need whatever skills I've learned.
Gotcha. Because you're like the magnet of knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me about functions that you don't have? Like I have Fi and Te. Do you have any questions about Fi and Te?
Yeah, so I was listening to you talking about your Fi the other day and like getting resentful toward Fe people for not understanding like all the layers of it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that in relation to Ti and how I get like offended if people try to argue reasons that are not thought out, like implying that I also haven't thought it out.
Yeah.
Is that kind of similar how you were describing Fi?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've offended a lot of Ti people because I shitted on their Ti.
No, I mean like is your Fi the same way in that if somebody throws emotions at you, do you feel like they're discounting the whole spectrum that you
No, it's not that. I think it's like if I'm trying to explain my feelings and then they try to fix it with a quick fix, like let's say I'm talking about my feelings. Let's say I'm in a vulnerable situation now. I'm opening up my emotions, and then this person said, "Oh, why don't I buy you a cake to make you feel better?" I'm like, I don't want a freaking cake. I want you to hear out my whole spectrum of emotion. I don't want you to put a band-aid on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like, is that it? Just for someone to listen, or do you need them to actually like?
I want them to listen.
That's it? Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, and I want them to listen like deeply. Like I don't want you to fake listen too. Like
Yeah.
I know when you're fake listening. When you're fake listening, that's also an insult, right? So it has to be like real listening. Like if you're listening to the whole Fi spectrum, then great. You know what? Even if you don't have Fi, the fact that you took the time to listen to the whole spectrum and understand it, even if you're trying to Ti the Fi, that's okay too. I'm cool with that, as long as you listen to it. But if you don't listen to it, and then you're a dick, right? But
yeah. What's the most common like dismissal that people have for Fi?
I don't know if I have any thing off the top of my head I can think of right now that it happened. maybe when I talk to like some, like I have ENTJ friends sometimes who, who's all in about like, hey, like I have an ENTJ friend, for example. He's like, the most important thing in life is to show people how great you are, like by having like a nice house or nice like car, nice things, like nice shiny objects to like show off your success, right? And I'm trying to explain to him about personal development, the FI and stuff. And he's probably sleep last, NI-FI last, so he doesn't take the FI seriously. So I'm talking about personal development and how like I don't have much to show for right now because I spent the time to work on my emotions, my feelings, strengthening my character. But he didn't give a shit. He's like, that's fucking stupid. Just make money, show people that you're better than them. I'm like, that's so messed up. That's really fucked up in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot too because you have FI last. So like yeah. Because my coworkers, he said he's an ENTJ. That's what he told me. But I'm like, okay, yeah. So that's just my opinion of it. Like when people shit on it.
Yeah. Wait, so you're NE-FI, right?
Yeah. No, I'm NAT. I'm a jumper. I'm an EPEJ.
Oh, okay.
Although Dave and Shan said I'm really I'm an EPIJ. So that's because I have Blast as Savior, right? And Blast Savior is like IJ. So
Interesting.
because they said my girlfriend is an IJEP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we got 1 minute left. Do you have anything to say before this time runs out?
Well, it's been fun. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I've been enjoying watching your different interviews and seeing some different people on there.
Yeah, it's been super fun, Emily.
Yeah, and maybe I'll take a spin class from you someday.
For sure. All right, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.